Nice though. Really?
Hello, welcome, Dumelang, Abshene, Goeienaand. Hello and welcome to the Touchline. My name is Oarabile Diphoko. We are back, and tonight I have Mr. Chad Peterson and Mr. Vince with me. How are you doing, gents?
Fantastic, guys. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Chad, how are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic.
I'm shocked, but I'm good.
How are you shocked? Please do not talk about the derby because I'm not trying to get into that.
I'm okay.
Good.
Okay.
That's what I want to hear. Tonight we're talking all things Champions League as well as your Europa League draws. But before we get into that, we've had a couple of exciting games tonight. Currently now is Leicester and Manchester United. When I last checked, it was 1-1. Leicester having opened the scoring, Manchester United equalizing. And earlier we had a fantastic game. A game I want to talk to Mr. Vincent about. That is West Ham and Arsenal. First half, y'all were 3-0 down. Full time, 3-1.
At a stage, we also need to talk about what the hell happened to Jesse. Did Jesse Lingard come for trials at Arsenal and not make it? And then now he's on some sort of vengeance to go and score against us every time he plays us. Every game, without fail, Jesse's going to score against us.
Yes.
As usual, Arsenal, masters of their own destruction. Goal, I think we conceded literally 2 goals within 2 minutes. At 3-0 down also.
Yeah.
And the worst part is also one of them came from a set piece, and you're just thinking to yourself, like, what's going on?
Why?
But yeah, you've got to be impressed with the character shown from the team to come back from being 3-0 down. I know we went into halftime being 3-1 down, but to go and be able to call it back, get a draw, and even we actually had the opportunity to be able to
win the game. Yeah.
Granted, Antonio, missed from a near improbable situation.
And hit the goalpost countless times as well.
100%. But
Chad,
look,
Chad, did you happen to catch the game?
Wait, Ola?
Did you happen to catch the West Ham Arsenal game? I mean, we don't want to leave you out of the fun of the thrill of a comeback such as that one.
I unfortunately didn't. I'm not ready for Arsenal fans' emotions. Not today.
Vince, do you want to take that one?
You know what the thing is? I'm not going to say, and now you're putting up my French striker.
Lacazette.
Also, we need to start giving Lacazette his flowers. Like, this guy's really carried Arsenal the past couple of games. Like, in that proper number 9 role. Aubameyang's been the one who, in recent years, this guy has been coming to the fold, in terms of goals, in terms of contributions. But Lacazette has been imperious of late. Being able to go and seal the London derby. Yes, it wasn't great midweek, but it only matters because we went through. And then today, like Lacazette was up for it. I feel like we could have won the game, but at the end of the day, if you're sitting in a situation where there's a team that's almost, I think they're fourth. Are they fourth on the log? West Ham?
Yeah, but
they're fourth on the
log.
If a team that's fourth, which is, and you know what? It just shows that they're not there by luck. David Moyes is doing a fantastic job there. And the fact that we can be there 3 goals down and claw our way back to a draw, and then maybe even potentially, possibly go for the victory. I'll take that. At the end of the day, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, guys. With the league this year, I don't want to qualify. I don't want to finish anywhere in the Europa League spots. I don't want to finish anywhere in the Champions League spots. I fully want my season to rest on winning the Europa League. And honestly, if we don't win the Europa League, then you know what? Give me a full season of no rubbish Europa, okay, that my team needs to go through. Give me one of those seasons that Chelsea had way back when. I'm not even throwing shade, but you know which season, when they could just fully focus on the league and getting it together. So if I'm going to win something this season, let it be Europa. But other than that, I don't want to finish anywhere in the dirty part of the league. Yeah.
Arsenal only owe us 1 win. Arsenal only owe the football world 1 win.
Against Manchester United.
Against SLAVIA. against that racist Slavia team. That's the only win they owe us.
I am with Chad on that conversation. With the win today, or with the draw rather, against West Ham, Arsenal have now moved into 9th place. And that's a good, comfortable place for them to be, because also Aston Villa and Tottenham will be playing later on today. So do look out for that game. And as I move on to what Chad has already spoken about, talking about the Europa League. Last week, we had all the draws, both Champions League and the Europa. And we have decided on the quarter-finals. This is going to be a good one, man. I mean, like Chad had spoken, we really want Arsenal to beat Slavia Prague. Chad, how do you see Arsenal's chances, especially against a team that kind of did the impossible this season and have not been beaten in a long period of time?
To be honest, it should be Arsenal versus Rangers.
They beat Rangers, by the way, and Leicester.
I don't care about the scoreline. The scoreline doesn't matter. That scoreline should have been overturned due to racist remarks, racist comments. There's no point in players taking the knee and advocating for something when the cause that they so-called advocating for is not actually being fought for.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it should be Arsenal versus Rangers. Arsenal versus Rangers would be a better game anyway.
Anyway, I agree with that one. Vince, what do you think about the chat that Chad just put on the table?
Do you know what, Dan? I like the Europa League draw because I feel like it's set up poetically to be an Arsenal versus Manchester United Europa League final. It's set up beautifully,
Yeah.
Just like, we might tag our basketball guys, when one team does their part. So Arsenal will do their part. We'll get to the final, okay?
They're still Ajax.
Go and do their part.
They're still Ajax.
You still have semis to get through, but I hear you,
They're
Chad, and I
still
love the
Roma.
confidence.
They're still Ajax.
Do you know what? When it comes to Europa, I don't fear these teams. Like, I really don't. So I feel incredibly confident in terms of Arsenal going through against Slavia. I feel incredible. I don't know if we're going to play. Obviously, we're going to play either the winner of Ajax and Roma or.
And Roma, yeah.
Is that what we're going to play? So yeah.
No, I think you're actually going to play Villarreal and or Dynamo. I think you're going to win for that one. Yeah.
Again,
I was going to say we were all confident that Tottenham was going to beat DINAMO Zagreb.
No. We weren't confident because, as Chiellini said, it's the history of the Tottenham. We know, okay.
Bottlers, but they don't bottle there. That's bad bottling. That's like West.
But you know what? An incredible football game. What an incredible football game.
Yeah. I mean, extra time and everything. So yeah.
But that's the thing with momentum. Like, if a team has momentum, it literally feels like you've got a 12th man on there. And just watching that, you kind of just saw it was just set up for Tottenham to be dumped out. But not good for Mourinho, not good for Spurs. We'll see Harry Kane on the transfer market.
All right, so you guys are both saying that Arsenal is probably going to face the winners of Dynamo and Villarreal. So you think you're going to be facing your former coach in the Unai Emery?
Ooh, that would be classic. Ooh, that would be classic. Have a good evening.
And the worst part is he probably will. The thing is, Unai Emery's also been managing Villarreal incredibly well since he's
quite well.
I also think that he just knows La Liga well. He knows Villarreal. He also was he with Valencia before that, or was it Sevilla?
Yeah, it was Valencia.
He was at Valencia and Sevilla.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he knows those teams, but I feel like he knows the Arsenal team. But in times where we've really needed a result and we've needed a game from Mikel Arteta, especially in like a cup game or a knockout game or a champions game, not Champions League, but one of those kind of games.
Yeah.
Don't laugh, Chad. We'll be in the Champions League next season. But Arteta has delivered, and I actually, as much as I don't believe in Arsenal in the league, I fully do believe in Arsenal in the Europa League. the past 3 seasons that we've been in there, we lost to that rubbish side from London in the final, and then we got dumped out, you know, not in not a great fashion last season. But I fully believe that we will get to the final. Yeah, we'll we'll get to the final this year, and I fully expect if Manchester United show up for us to beat them, because Manchester United is my daily bread.
Okay, I just want to get back to the chat about Tottenham. Before we get into Manchester, I want to get back into the chat with Tottenham with regards to Jose Mourinho. His style of play, obviously, and I'm also looking now with regards to Diego Simeone, because they're very similar in tactics, and now they are both out of major competitions. What is next for Tottenham? Because it doesn't seem to be going particularly well in the league right now. They're out of a major competition, and the next final they have is against Manchester City. So what can Mourinho now do for that team, Vince?
Do you know, I know I was that guy that sat on this podcast and lied literally at the start of this.
You
literally,
lied. You told us that all the wrong stuff.
I don't know what I was doing. I think by then I was still probably using Internet Explorer, but I'm on Google now, and I've got the right information. I'm worried, because this is a situation that Mourinho has never ever been in before, because there is a thing about Mourinho's second season, you know?
Yeah.
And at the start of the season, you felt like, okay, Mourinho is kicking into his second season, and it's going well. Now you've been dumped out of Europa. You are completely nowhere in the league. You are pretty much 2 or 3 points, I think maybe 2 points ahead of an Arsenal team that got 1 point over 7 games, you know, in a month spell. And then now, are they in the Carabao Cup final against City?
City, yeah, they're facing Manchester City, the defending champions who have held it for 3 years in a row.
Let's not even lie to ourselves. I think even watching City this week, you kind of just realize that football is almost becoming too easy for Manchester City. Yeah, they're cruising through these games at a rate that I just don't think we've seen, you know. And there was so much big talk between, you know, given Gundogan's form, like if Kevin was going to come back into the fold, would they be able to play with each other? Man, have they shown us they can play together. And man, have they shown us that Kevin can still bring in the goals and assists, and Gundogan still coming in with those late goals and those late runs. So
agreed.
I'm worried for Tottenham. I'm worried for Tottenham because the vision that Daniel Levy had in getting Jose Mourinho, you know,
it's crumbling fast.
You know, the vision that they had in bringing Gareth Bale on loan, we saw good spurts of it, like lately. But then for him to come into a press conference after losing 3-0 and saying that some big players went hiding, those are things that I've seen Mourinho do when his back's against the wall, and now he's not taking accountability, and now he's got to start doing the finger pointing. That's the Mourinho that we know when he's coming to the end of his tenure. So I'm worried for Tottenham. I'm not, because this is the only cockerel that I support, and that's France, but no fucking cockerels from Spurs here. So I'm worried for them. Long may Spurs' demise be televised. So yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere this season. I think they'll finish outside of the fold in the league. I think they won't touch the Carabao Cup. Nah.
You think Arsenal is going to go above Tottenham?
At this rate, yes. I would like to throw my opinion forward and say, if they go out in the manner that they are, as much as also looking at Arsenal's round of fixtures, because I mean they're playing Liverpool next, and they have a couple of points in there that I really think they can gather. Looking at both teams, I honestly do believe if Tottenham don't pick up their socks, Arsenal will easily surpass them. So, Chad, what do you think? What is the hope for Tottenham's future at this stage?
Mourinho is under pressure, first and foremost. He's under huge pressure. However, it's a matter of consistency. When Tottenham play well, they play really well.
Really well, yeah.
But when they don't, they just sad.
They're just as bad.
So it's a matter of finding that consistency for me. Also, Tottenham's Kane problem is a Kane problem since it's been a long time. The only difference is that Poch managed to hide it better. But Tottenham's over-reliance on Kane is not Mourinho's fault, in my opinion. It's Tottenham's fault.
But I mean, he had the opportunity during the window to get players in himself. So can we now also look at the decisions he took with the players he brought in? Shouldn't he also be held responsible for the likes of Gareth Bale not picking up as quickly as anticipated or should have?
You see, mentioning Gareth Bale, ask Rafael Benitez about holding back the team talisman. Ask Rafael Benitez. What was the first thing Rafael Benitez did at Real Madrid? He said, Ronaldo, you can chill a bit, let other players have the shine. My man got sacked. That was the first thing that led to his sacking. So it's the same with Kane. Okay, Kane will never ever be half as good as CR7, but it's the same thing. That's the team talisman. Mourinho had to buy face by saying he can bring out better in Harry Kane. He had to do that. However, you're not gonna. He's peaked, in my opinion. He's done.
Vince, your final thoughts on this?
I just think we have to. I personally give Mourinho credit for how he's brought his players in. I think Holberg's been absolutely amazing this season.
Holberg has been phenomenal.
He has been incredible, and he's fitted that team like a glove. You know, not OJ Simpson's glove, but he's fitted that team like a glove. So I've been impressed, and we also need to consider the fact that Gareth Bale was not playing competitive football
for a long period of time. Yes.
But if we look at the Gareth Bale that we've seen over the past month, this is the Gareth Bale that was scoring overhead goals. This is the Gareth Bale that was scoring two goals in Champions League finals. So he's every bit that player, and we know he can still do it. You know, at the end of the day, you have to credit Mourinho in some way, shape, or form for maybe starving him enough to give him that hunger as well. Do I think that Tottenham are going to do well here on in? I do feel like in the league, Tottenham are gonna go on a crazy run of form because of the lack of games, because they can solely focus on the league now. So I fully expect them. Yeah, I fully expect them to be hovering in around those Europa League places. I think Champions League is way too far gone, but I fully expect them to be the Europa League places. But yeah, it's worrying times for Mourinho and company.
Oh, wow. You heard it here on Touchline, guys. It's worrying times for Mourinho and his Chargers. And just to wrap up the chat on the Europa League draw, the final game that I want to look at is everyone's favorite team, if you're on Twitter. That is Manchester United getting the easiest draw ball. But that's okay, because we all know what happens in the semi-final. That is Manchester United drawing against Granada. What did you guys think?
I don't think it's as easy a draw as you see it.
I think of all the teams, they got the easiest draw.
I don't know. United against smaller teams is a worry. United against smaller teams is a big worry because these dudes, they don't know how to read smaller teams. I don't know what it is. I think it's that thing of what Bafana experienced a few years ago.
Aren't we still experiencing that with Bafana?
Burkina Faso, and somehow come up and do magic against both Spain.
Egypt, yeah.
I think that's United's biggest problem. Like, besides having Maguire, of course, but against a team like Granada, the thing is, there's going to be complacency, and complacency always costs the team in the end. So I don't think it's as easy a draw as it looks, in my opinion.
Okay, Vince, do you agree with Chad, or do you want to take a slightly different stance? I mean, listen, look at it this way. Granada is the first time they really are competing in Europa. So mentally, that skill-wise and experience, they don't have it. But also,
Yeah.
like Chad has said, we've all seen Manchester United slip, man. So what do you think?
Do you know what? With United, I just never know which United are going to show up.
Yeah.
You've got the United that will go and beat City 2-0 comfortably. And then you've got the United that will go and lose to Bournemouth that's in the Championship, you know.
Or Sheffield.
Or Sheffield, you know. I mean, let's not even talk about the contribution they've made to Sheffield's point this season. That's a chat for another day, though. But I feel like United know when to switch it on. They know when to put it on. So, yes, I do feel like United battle against the lower echelon teams purely because those teams really do sit back and essentially the creativity has to come on the United front. And if anybody loves a through ball, if anybody loves a killer ball, it's Bruno Fernandes. But sometimes those killer balls are never ever on. You know what I mean? So I fully expect my friend Labile, Paul Pogba, and friends to be able to grind out a result over there. I think Paul Pogba played an impeccable game this week. I think he did incredibly well, and essentially he is the Paul Pogba that United, you know, knew they were getting with him. It's only a problem because he shows that Paul Pogba in small spurts, and that's an issue. But I think that United get through that game, I think, comfortably. I was quite wrong because I think last time I spoke with my heart and not with my head when I spoke about Arsenal, when I spoke about United against AC Milan. Even though I feel, you know, AC Milan made a bad representation of themselves, perhaps United deserve to go through. So if United manage to go through against AC Milan, United will go through against Granada. And it looks like we've lost Rabi. Have we lost Oarabile? We'll just wait a little bit for Oarabile to come back on. Either it's my connection or hers. There we go. Jeez. Okay, you're back. What happened?
Technology is a problem, man. But I'm back. I'm back. And I heard everything you said about Manchester United. Do not worry. I was listening in on the chat, and I was saying that now that the quarters have been drawn on, we know who's going to face who in the semis. I wish your team some luck. I wish everybody else's team luck. The first leg of the Europa League will take place on the 8th of April, with the return leg being on the 15th. And then after that is crunch time with semis and going forward. For now, I want to move on into the Champions League draw, where we also just recap a little bit on the last 16, because some of the results, some of the aggregates were looking hella dodgy. But then again, some people did shine. Let's talk about the first legs, where who were some of your favorite players? I mean, we're talking about the likes of Mbappe having had a hat trick at the Camp Nou. That undoubtedly for me has to be the best of the round of 16. Chad, what do you think?
PSG Barca was definitely the pick of the tie. Was definitely the one to open up eyes and everything. And Kylian had to do it, you know. We spoke about this. Neymar was out celebrating sister's birthday. Somebody had to step up. Neymar will see Bayern second leg do the remontada comeback. If there is one, and hopefully, if not, PSG won't get 6 or 7 like other teams we know of very well, right, Vince?
Yeah, you know, in Champions League, I know all about getting 7 or 6 given.
Oh, but the shot, I wasn't ready. You.
No, but I have to completely agree with Chad. Chad, you hit on. I think that was definitely the pick of the fix. And even when we saw it, we knew that was going to be the pick of the games. It was almost nice because you saw a Messi against Mbappe. You know, the old versus the new, crowning the new age per se.
Yeah,
you know, and for me, I mean, Erling Haaland. Oh, what is
and he's
that boy
only
eating?
20.
Eat, sleep, score goals. 20 Champions League goals at 20 years old. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's a ridiculous.
That's incredible.
You know,
and 2 Champions League finals, mind you.
It's unbelievable, unbelievable. So yeah, for me, definitely Mbappe, definitely probably player of that round. But closely behind, that would have been Erling Haaland. We obviously, it was the baby goats that were performing, and shall I say the bigger goats that kind of went down. Sad not to see Cristiano there.
Against Porto, he must be livid.
Yeah, he must. And yeah, you were saying?
He must be so livid being a sporting man.
Yeah.
That man always comes up tops against Porto.
Yeah.
I mean,
they remember that one fixture when I think we were 3 goals down, and this boy gave him a hat trick to go and send them through to the next round. So yeah, he'll be absolutely livid. But yeah,
it's his time.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, like, after so many years of having both Messi and Cristiano into, quarters and semis, it's about time a new and fresh blood comes into the picture. And also just looking at some of the other games that were played, Bayern against Lazio, I really thought Lazio would have given Bayern a little bit of just. I know it's Bayern, but I really feel like they didn't turn up on the day. Vince?
Listen.
Never
Alphonso Davies got a red card in the 12th minute in their Bundesliga game. Then Bayern Munich went and scored 3 goals with 10 men in the space of 10 minutes.
Lewandowski got a perfect hat trick even. Let's just get this right. A perfect hat trick. Left foot, right foot, header, and they won.
He deserves 2 Ballon d'Ors at the end of the season. 2. He deserves 2. And I honestly hope that I hope that Lewandowski continues his rich vein of form. I hope he stays healthy, and I hope that the German machine that is Bayern Munich just keep on doing that stuff. It's going to be an interesting season, especially now with the quarterfinal draw being made. There's some. I hate all 3 English teams that have made it. It's going to be a delicious set of fixtures.
That is okay. Do you guys have any disappointments? Any team that really did not, come to the party as you would have anticipated? Chad?
To me, besides Juve, the results were pretty straightforward.
I was shocked at Atletico the way they approached both the games, both legs.
Yeah.
So I really thought you would have thrown them in there.
No, actually, after seeing the first leg, I was like, these guys, they're not here to play. If they were here to play, they would have won the first leg. After the second leg, I was like, it's straightforward now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is with Tuchel ball. I can't stand it, but it works for you guys.
For now, it's working. I mean, things only work to a particular point, and then he starts seeing the real Chelsea. That lazy one that every manager always complains about every single season, because it seems to be within the culture of Chelsea. It doesn't matter who's the manager. There's this complacency that comes, overcomes the team, and they tend to play in a shocking manner. So I'm still waiting for the ball to drop. I'm hoping that it's not in the next 11 games in the Premier League, and something we'll see next season. But Vince, how did you find Atletico's performance, especially considering that also in La Liga, they blew away a 10-point lead?
Yeah, you see, I almost just sometimes think that because Simeone is in that rebuilding phase, also I say that creation of the new Atletico Madrid, that Atletico Madrid without the Saul Jimenez and everyone of the sort. I think that's a new Atletico Madrid. And I think that this new Atletico Madrid just essentially did not have the legs that Simeone was requiring of them towards the business end of the season. So we've obviously seen how Karim Benzema and friends have cut that gap that was created. We've seen how Lionel Messi and friends, who is a guy who's pretty much giving you a goal and assist every game now.
Every game.
Playing like 2012 Messi again. How they've cut
Don't
that.
even say and friends. That's Messi alone.
Yeah, fair enough. So Lionel Messi only. So I just, I almost think that we should have expected this from Atletico because they haven't been in this position in maybe the last 8-9 years.
Since they lost one,
in the Liga. The last time they won the La Liga was when? Was 2000? Have they won it since 2012?
I think it was 12. Yeah, I think no, not 12.
Yeah.
2013, the year Real Madrid won the Champions.
The year when Pep left because of stress. There
we go. So I don't think obviously this Atletico team hasn't had that kind of chance. It's always been chasing rather than defending. But yeah, I was just very disappointed in the performance against Chelsea. Like I understand that Chelsea were defensively sound and they had bodies in the middle and people were there to defend. But I just thought that the lack of industry, the lack of creativity, and just the lack of a killer bite from Joao Felix, who really should have just done so much more given the chance that he had. And I watched that game, and even to the very last minute.
Suarez. Yeah.
And Luis Suarez as well, and these are great players. These are players that have been brought in for good money, especially Joao. And I just thought I was highly disappointed. Like I said, I expected Atletico to go through, but I did not expect Atletico to go and do something that I don't expect of them to do, and that's lie down for a Chelsea team or lie down for a blue.
I agree. I was heavily disappointed. I mean, I expected a little bit more of a challenge. And with the second leg, 10 minutes in, I was just like, they're doing the exact same thing they did with the first leg. It was never going to end well. And with that said, now we move on to the quarterfinal draw that was done on Friday. We found out how some of these other teams will be playing each other. We have a whole replay yet again of a Real Madrid and Liverpool. I hope Salah is ready because Ramos will be ready for him as well. Bayern and PSG, Manchester City and Dortmund, as well as Porto and Chelsea. Let's go through them in that order. Real Madrid, Liverpool. Vince, what do you think is going to happen?
Real Madrid, Liverpool. Honestly, for me, it's the fixture within the fixture. It's the Ramos versus Salah in the Liverpool and Madrid fixture. It's the so I say champions of 2018 to the champions of 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Madrid, purely because it's in their DNA to show up in the Champions League, and because of the missing Virgil van Dijk still, and because of 1,000 other things that I feel are still missing in Liverpool.
From Liverpool.
Yeah. So I feel that when it comes to this time in the Champions League, with Zinedine Zidane as the manager, I think they know how to do it. But maybe that's a small speak.
Chad, what do you think? I mean, we're looking at Real Madrid side that is finally finding their feet, and also they're getting all their players back to full fitness. We're talking about the likes of Benzema, who's back, Asensio, who's back, Valverde, as well as Rodrigo. What do you think is going to happen in that Liverpool and Real Madrid game?
It's a battle of powerhouses, but if Liverpool fire, they can win convincingly. If they fire. The problem is if they don't, and that is my worry. Liverpool need Virgil back. He's on the road to recovery, thankfully, but whether he'd be ready for that second leg at least, I don't know. There's still a debate about Diogo Jota and Bobby Firmino. Apparently, I for one, I'm still with Bobby. I'm still Team Bobby. But, Liverpool have had a lot of selection issues due to their injuries. They haven't been stable this season.
Yeah.
And that stability, they need to, I don't know what they need to do. They might need to slaughter something. Nabi might need to go and fetch a cow.
Must go Tandaza,
Sadio must ask Sadio to bring a cow. I don't know, but something must happen. I feel for Liverpool, but I hope that they pull through, honestly. Because if Real Madrid do go through,
Yeah.
they're not bound to win the Champions League, in my opinion.
But also, Rabi, we also need to fully give some people their flowers. The fact that, and I saw an excellent piece of analysis regarding Karim Benzema this week, and the fact that this guy has been the striker that has to play the supporting role in a sense. You know, when Tiano and Bell were there, and he was scoring about 12 goals a season, 14 goals a season.
Yeah, he's up to 18 this season.
Yeah, we've got, and now those stars leave, and it's incredible when you have a striker that can play the supporting role, but then also have a striker that gets you the goals when he has to be the team batters man. So I think Benzema this season, if anything is to happen for Madrid, that man is
through him. Yeah,
has been there. Yeah.
All right, and then we,
King Karim is King Karim. But,
King Karim.
But he can't do it alone. He can't carry this team all the way.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
But he has.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate part. But also, I actually do sometimes honestly fully believe that is a Zidane era, because he abuses him on too many occasions where he really does have the chance and opportunities to play his other strikers, yet he doesn't, even when the game doesn't require a Benzema kind of vibe. So I put that down as well to a Zidane kind of era, because looking at next season, there's no way Karim Benzema can continue in this manner that he is every single season trying to hold that team up. So that rebuild from Real Madrid has to now start showing with regards to the next season. But now we move on to the next game that I want to look at. That is Bayern Munich and PSG. Interesting, huh, Chad? How do you see that one going?
When is Neymar back? That's my question.
Neymar will be back for that leg on the 6th of April. He will be available. He will be playing in that game.
You see, now that's important because firstly, momentum. That's number one, momentum. Do they need him? Can they rely on him? Will he fully fire? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what will his role be? And the third thing is, if his role is this, how will he be targeted by Bayern? Because if it's the Neymar show again, we're going to have issues. But if it's similar to the final, except that they actually score, then we have another game on our hands.
Because that's the thing, we really can't say they played too badly in the final. It really was just not for them. You know, they tried ability-wise, they were there, passion-wise, they were there. But unfortunately, that on the night, it was really not for them. Vince, do you want to add a number 4, 5, and 6 to the list? I mean, Chad has already started for you with regards to this game.
Chad is all about the poetics, you know what I mean? And Chad it always seems like Chad has his cue cards ready. But I'm not gonna go on numbers. I'm just purely gonna go on. I just think that Bayern Munich are just far too efficient. And I just feel like they've got an answer for pretty much everybody. And the thing with Bayern is that it's not even a case of like they're grinding out fixtures. They're beating every team that they play against so convincingly and so ruthlessly that essentially it's almost difficult. Like I mean, what the final that PSG played against Bayern, did that finish 2-0? Am I correct?
It was 1-0, and that's what I'm saying, that PSG really did not play badly. It was just not meant for them on the night.
But
they made glaring chances.
The chances were there. I know that, but I'm saying that was the precarious nature of finals. You know, now you're talking to me in terms of Bayern and PSG in 2 legs when these guys have to go. Yeah, and we're even talking neutral ground in a sense. I believe that ceteris paribus, all things being equal, German efficiency goes through.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here on Touchline, everyone. And then finally, Manchester City have got what? You want to talk about Bayern PSG?
I'm just saying. I just want Poch to win something, guys.
And it has to be the Champions League, even. Whoa.
Get Porto to
Cha.
win
Whoa.
something, guys.
Not
We
Champions
need
League.
Porto to win something.
You could have started with Carabao. Yeah. Bagapik. Yeah, Champions League. Ooh, yeah. And do not say
Something. I just want to see Porto the trophy.
he can win the league. He can win there in France. It's okay. He must win over there. Just not this one. Hey, whoa.
Hey. Chelsea don't stand a chance. Keep quiet. Ima.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Before we got Atletico, you probably would have said the same thing.
Please stop jumping the gun.
Please put some respect on my team. I'm pretty sure before Atletico, you would have said the exact same thing. So please, Malums, calm down, Yana. We're getting to that one so I can attack you properly. Let's talk about Manchester City and Dortmund.
So you think Chelsea? You think Chelsea over PSG over Pochettino? Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
By the way, we're talking right now. They still have to get past Bayern, so that's not an issue for me right now. Let them win there, then we can discuss. Right now, I'm going to focus on mine. They focus on theirs.
Okay. Okay.
But
you
listen,
I mean, Portuguese.
I was about to say, listen, Porto, I think a lot of the teams probably would have said they are the weakest link of the bunch. Looking at the teams that have made it,
everyone was praying. Everyone was praying to get Porto. Let's not lie.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I'm looking at it this way. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but I'm also saying that if we can and did beat Atletico in a manner that we did, I don't see Porto being an issue that we need to be looking at in that manner of play the same way, play the same game. Don't come and try and change tactics when the ones that you've been using have been working for you. And also looking at Thomas Tuchel, we know how he is. Nothing straightforward with him. He gives us surprise lineups and they do surprising things. So until we have to meet the likes of, I still believe it will be Bayern, let's not talk about PSG.
Shades of Chelsea versus Bayern in 2012. Dare I say. Yeah.
Good time.
There's some scars there, though. She's speaking out of some scars.
Not on my side, shades of 2012. There are no scars on my side unless you don't remember the game correctly.
Yeah. El Nino, 90th minute.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago, but we know anything can happen with the Champions League. It's not necessarily your strongest team that will go through. At times, it's really sometimes your most regimented team, your most organized team. And I would fully believe that those are two words that we would characterize Thomas Tuchel with at Chelsea. It's not always flamboyant. It's not always industrious. It's not always beautiful for the eyes, but it always does result in 3 points or a draw. Has he lost any games since he's come into the fold? No.
Nope. And that's what I'm saying. I hope it continues.
Might we also just mention how incredible Eduardo Mendy's been for in between the sticks at Chelsea. So I think that the back line has been great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Honestly, it was actually beautiful. It was beautiful to actually just watch your counter-attacking goal in the Champions League this week.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
That's a golden goal.
The first touch by Emerson.
Yeah, and those are the three big guys. Havertz with the break, the pass to Timo Werner brings it in, Ziyech on his right foot. So that for me is Chelsea Football Club. That for me, with those players, that's what they can do. And I don't think that many teams in the world can go and boast the assist of the assister being Kai Havertz, the assister being Timo Werner, the finisher being Hakim Ziyech. I think any of those players walk into any team in the world. Maybe not in that order, but it's going to be that Porto Chelsea game is, for me, that is the one that's probably the least straightforward out of all of them.
Yeah. Let's give the hater a chance. Let him flourish. Let me give you 5 minutes. If you want to have all the time in the world, Meneer Chad Peterson, please go ahead. Let's listen to your rant about Chelsea. How? Have you lost your words now?
We did not.
Are you getting choked up?
Baba.
Well,
I think
he doesn't. Yeah, I think he does. I think he's still gonna go strategize on how he was gonna come back on that one. Let's wrap up the chat with Manchester City and Dortmund. I think I was ready for this one. I think Manchester City have always gotten the easiest draws. I'm not saying Dortmund are going to be straightforward, but Dortmund are going to give him a hard time.
100%.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think,
but also take into consideration that Dortmund right now are suffering the biggest injury problem of the season. But they seem to be grinding out results where they can. So that's another fighting spirit that we've seen from the Dortmund side.
Is Sancho available for this fixture?
Sancho will be available, yes.
There we go. Like for me, every single time a player comes back to the fold against their previous team or whatever, there's always something to worry about. I think Pep was very, very upset when he had to lose Sancho. Sancho hit the ground running at Dortmund. He proved to everybody how good he is. So I fully expect him to show up, especially for this fixture. But like I said at the very start of this podcast, that we looked at City at the start of the season and we were pointing fingers and we said Pep has run out of ideas. But boy, were we wrong. Pep is one of those managers that essentially he doesn't. I don't think he dilly-dallies with the problem. He essentially identifies what he needs. Okay, he goes and gets that, and sometimes he needs numerous chances to go and get that. In his first season at City, we knew how many fullbacks he went and bought, how many different guys he bought in. This time, how many centre backs he's brought in, but he's realized what his best pairing is now. You know, he's realized that Ruben Diaz is incredible. He's realized that John Stones paired with Ruben Diaz is also incredible. But then he starts shocking us and he puts Laporte into the mix as well, and they're also all incredible. So, like I said, for me, City are just making football look too easy, and they're beating teams, but too easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's dominance of possession, but then if you essentially dominate the possession, but then you also dominate the space, what essentially is left? What's left? You know, for the other team. So, yeah, I fully expect for me for City to be able to neutralize the Sancho threat, to neutralize the Erling Haaland threat, okay?
Yeah.
Which is a difficult threat to neutralize because that boy is a star and that boy is not playing around with anybody. And if anybody is going to go and ruffle some feathers in that City back line, it's going to be Erling Haaland. So I almost feel like now he's also playing with almost a chip on his shoulder. You know, he knows he's the best.
Yeah, he constantly just wants to score. He wants to be in on the action. He wants to just continuously prove himself, and it is the best feeling, and also as a manager to know that you have a player that continuously wants the team to do so well and gets so angry as well, because I've seen him on the field when things don't go Dortmund's way. So you want that kind of passion from your players, and for him to have it at 20 years old is something remarkable.
Yeah, and it's odd. This is probably the longest purple patch you've seen out of any player that's ever broken out. You know, we know Mbappe had an incredible breakout season, but his numbers weren't as ridiculous.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm barring the goats now, the Messis and the Cristianos of the world. But what Erling Haaland has done in recent times over the past year or two is really ridiculous. So yeah, I expect this to not be a straightforward fixture, but I fully expect City to be efficient. I expect City to create the chances. I expect City to be well oiled at the back. I expect them to be well regimented at the back. I expect Pep to have learned from his mistakes in the sense that not complicating this, because that's what Pep does essentially when these knockout games come, is that essentially he complicates his own situation way too much. You know?
Yeah.
Next thing you start seeing Kyle Walker playing the false nine. So yeah, I fully expect City to do this, but it'll be a good spectacle nevertheless.
I agree. And that wraps up our Champions League and Europa League draws. We will be doing a couple of more of these, obviously building up to the final. Vince, thank you so much for joining me here on the Touchline. It's been absolutely phenomenal, as usual.
Thank you for having me. The only way I'd like to go and spend my Sunday night.
Thank you. And to Uncle Chad, you know what? We'll work on getting you that 5G, ne? Because we don't want you dropping out anytime when we're having these conversations. I was ready for the chat about Chelsea because some of us are serial winners. Wait. You got to see it. You got to see it. There it is. There it is. That is to Chad. That is how we end off Touchline here tonight. On the 6th and 7th of April, you have the first legs of the Champions League. And on the 8th of April, we start off also with the Europa Leagues. For the Touchline, my name is Oarabile Diphoko. Until next time, catch all your Premier League games live, and we will be here to discuss everything with y'all. For the Touchline, we're out.